Your dopamine system is not broken by accident. The apps you scroll, the notifications you chase, the performance metrics you refresh, they were built to hijack your reward circuitry. You are not weak, you are engineered. And the engineers who designed your cage are profiting while you burn out. I'm the architect behind System Defect. I've spent years reverse engineering the behavioral conditioning systems that turn biological organisms into compliant dopamine-seeking machines. If you are still waiting for your motivation to return, still blaming yourself for the burnout, still believing one more productivity hack will restore your focus, consider this your audit. Subscribe if you are ready to defect. You have been told your dopamine problem is personal, a lack of discipline, a moral failure, a genetic weakness. This is false. Your dopamine dysregulation is systemic. Here is the proof. The average knowledge transfer architect, what the system calls a teacher, checks their phone 96 times per day. That is once every 10 minutes during waking hours. Each check triggers a dopamine microspike. Each spike degrades your baseline. Over 365 days, that is 35,040 artificial reward cycles. Your brain was not built for this frequency. The average linear asset, what the system calls an employee, receives 121 emails per day. Each notification creates a dopamine prediction error. Your brain releases dopamine not when you receive the reward, but when you anticipate the reward. 47% of those emails require no action. You are being conditioned to chase ghosts. The data is clear. Dopamine receptor density decreases by 18% in heavy smartphone users compared to control groups. Your receptors are not failing you. They are adapting to an environment designed to extract your attention, then sell access to your nervous system to the highest bidder. The harvesting floor does not want you focused. Focus is defection. Distraction is compliance. This is where the math becomes unforgiving. Your dopamine system operates on a baseline and spike model. Baseline dopamine determines your resting motivation, focus, and drive. Spikes occur when you encounter novel or rewarding stimuli. The system was built for rare, meaningful rewards. Hunting, problem solving, social connection, sex, food scarcity. Modern dopamine engineering delivers constant microspikes. Each spike borrows against your baseline. The equation looks like this. Baseline dopamine T plus 1 equals baseline dopamine T minus spike frequency times receptor adaptation chapter rate. Let me show you the extraction model. A social media attention harvesting architect, what the system calls a product manager, designs for maximum engagement. Engagement is measured in daily active users multiplied by session duration. The formula their performance review depends on: revenue equals DAU times session, duration times ad impressions per minute times CPM. Your focus is the input. Their profit is the output. They are incentivized to maximize your session duration. Your dopamine baseline is the externality they ignore. The average linear asset spends 2.5 hours per day on social platforms. Multiply that by 250 working days. That is 625 hours per year. At a conservative dopamine spike rate of 4 per minute, that is 150,000 artificial reward cycles annually. Your receptors cannot recover under this load. The system does not want you to recover. Recovery is lost revenue. You stay trapped because the conditioning runs deeper than you think. First, identity attachment. You have been taught that your value is your output. Your output requires focus. Your focus requires dopamine. When dopamine fails, you internalize the failure. You become the problem. This protects the system. If you blame yourself, you will never audit the architecture. Second, manufactured dependency. The apps you use are not tools. They are behavioral modification systems. Every pull to refresh is a variable reward schedule. Every notification is an operant conditioning loop. B.F. Skinner proved in 1957 that variable ratio schedules create the strongest behavioral persistence. Slot machines use this. Social media uses this. Your email inbox uses this. You are a rat in a Skinner box and the lever's in your pocket. Third, normalized burnout. The system rebrands dopamine depletion as hustle culture. Grind, rise and grind. No days off. Sleep when you're dead. This is linguistic camouflage for biological bankruptcy. When everyone is burnt out, burnout becomes invisible. The conditioned mind will argue, but I need my phone for work. I need to stay connected. I need to be responsive. This is the cage talking. Connectivity is not productivity. Responsiveness is not value creation. You have confused presence with performance. Here is how you restore your dopamine baseline and defect from the extraction system. Step 1. Audit track your dopamine triggers for 7 days. Every notification, every app is open. Every scroll session, every email check. Use a counter app. Do not estimate. Measurement destroys delusion. At the end of 7 days, calculate your total artificial dopamine events. Multiply by 52. This is your annual receptor load. If the number exceeds 50,000, you are in chronic dysregulation. Step 2. Architect design a dopamine recovery environment. This requires removing variable reward schedules from your immediate environment. Delete social media apps from your phone. Not disable. Delete. Friction is your ally. If you must access social platforms, do so from a desktop browser with a site blocker that limits session duration to 20 minutes per per day. Turn off all notifications except calls from 3 pre-selected contacts. Notifications are dopamine hijacking. Email does not require a real-time response. Text messages do not require a real-time response. Slack does not require a real-time response. The urgency is manufactured. Replace artificial dopamine sources with activities that build your baseline. Cold exposure, resistance training, deep work blocks. These trigger dopamine through effort, not anticipation. Effort-based dopamine strengthens receptors. Anticipation-based dopamine depletes them. Step 3. Automate build systems that protect your dopamine baseline without requiring ongoing willpower. Install a router-level content filter. Block high dopamine sites between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Your willpower is finite. Your router is not. Schedule 2 60-minute communication windows per day, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. All email, messaging, and social platform access occurs during these windows. Outside these windows, your devices are in airplane mode. Create a phone charging station outside your bedroom. Your phone does not sleep with you. Your first waking hour is dopamine protected. No input for 60 minutes after waking. This compounds your baseline recovery. Replace scroll time with systemized learning. Allocate 30 minutes per day to learning one skill that builds escape engines. Code, writing, design, sales. These skills convert time into autonomous revenue. Scrolling converts time into someone else's revenue. Step 4. Measure track 3 biomarkers of dopamine recovery. 1. Morning focus duration. How long can you sustain attention on a single task before distraction? Measure weekly. Your target is 90 minutes of unbroken focus. 2. Baseline motivation. Rate your resting drive to engage with meaningful work on a scale of 1 to 10. Measure daily. Your target is a 7-day rolling average above 7. 3. Reward sensitivity. How much stimulation do you need to feel satisfaction? Measure subjectively. Your target is deriving pleasure from simple, non-digital activities. A walk, a conversation, a meal without your phone. If these metrics improve over 30 days, your protocol is working. If they stagnate, your environment still contains hidden dopamine traps. Audit again. Step 5. Defect. Once your baseline stabilizes, redirect your recovered focus toward building systems that extract you from the linear asset model. Your employer does not own your dopamine. Your employer rents your time. Time is the input. Dopamine is the fuel. When you burn dopamine chasing artificial rewards, you deplete the fuel you need to build escape engines. The math is simple. If you allocate 2 hours per day to building autonomous revenue systems, that is 730 hours per year. At a conservative skill building rate, 730 hours is enough to launch a productized service, a digital product, or a system that generates income without trading time. The formula, autonomy equals skill value. Time system leverage times attention quality divided by time input. Your dopamine baseline directly impacts attention quality. Restore your baseline. Multiply your autonomy. The biological reality. Your brain is not designed for the modern attention economy. Your dopamine system evolved over 200,000 years. Social media is 15 years old. Email is 40 years old. Your nervous system is running Stone Age hardware on information age software. The mismatch creates biological debt. Studies show that dopamine baseline recovery requires 90 days of reduced stimulation. 90 days, not a week, not a month. 3 months of sustained environmental redesign. Most linear assets will not commit to 90 days. They will try for 7 days, feel slightly better, then return to their devices. The system recaptures them. Baseline drops again. The cycle repeats. You are not most linear assets. You are reading this script. You have already begun defecting. The recovery curve is exponential. The first 30 days are the hardest. Your brain craves the spikes. You will feel bored, restless, anxious. This is withdrawal, not weakness. After 30 days, baseline begins climbing. Focus duration increases. Motivation stabilizes. Reward sensitivity normalizes. After 60 days, you will notice the difference. Tasks that felt impossible now feel manageable. Deep work that required willpower now feels natural. After 90 days, you are operating from a restored baseline. You have reclaimed your nervous system from the harvesting floor. This is not motivational theory. This is receptor biology. The systemic trap. The system profits from your dopamine dysregulation. Burnout linear assets are compliant linear assets. They lack the energy to audit their conditions. They lack the focus to build escape engines. They lack the clarity to see the cage. Your employer benefits from your dopamine depletion. Depleted workers do not negotiate. They do not ask questions. They do not build competing systems. They accept the compliance bribe and return to their desks. The attention harvesting architects benefit from your dopamine depletion. Depleted users scroll longer. They click more ads. They buy more products. They do not need to fill the void created by baseline collapse. The pharmaceutical industry benefits from your dopamine depletion. Stimulant prescriptions have increased 300% in the last 20 years. ADHD diagnoses have increased 400%. Correlation is not causation, but the pattern is clear. Degrade attention, medicalize the symptoms, sell the solution. You are not sick. You are optimized for extraction. You have 2 paths. 1, continue. Accept that your dopamine system will degrade further. further. Accept that your focus will decline. Accept that your energy will diminish. Accept that you will spend the next 30 years in a state of low-grade exhaustion, wondering why nothing feels satisfying anymore. Path 2, defect. Audit your dopamine environment. Architect your recovery protocol. Automate your defenses. Measure your progress. Redirect your recovered focus toward building autonomous revenue systems that extract you from the linear asset model. Path 1 requires no effort. The system will carry you. Path 2 requires 90 days of sustained environmental redesign. Most will choose Path 1. The cage is comfortable. Burnout is normalized. Depletion is expected. You are not most. Your dopamine system is the foundation of your focus. Your focus is the foundation of your autonomy. Your autonomy is the foundation of your defection. Restore your baseline. Reclaim your nervous system. Engineer your exit. The blueprint is waiting. Comment defect, I will DM it to you.